y'all hear an echo. Go ahead, Jamal.
Okay. No, I'll try to be as fast. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, just I guess, well, I mean, I guess we talked that subject to death, but I guess
Hmm.
to get into the general aspect of it, um, I think the bigger point is that um, obviously I feel like there's a political shift and there's a social shift. The thing is
Hmm.
that I don't always know if it's like I've recently become like before, I hated conservative people. I thought if you're a Republican, you wouldn't be conservative unless you're rich, racist, or religious. And now
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
starting to see. Sorry, what you say?
I'm sorry. I felt that way too. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, I actually felt that way too until the Biden administration. What and the 2020 election? Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, I thought that too. But what happened is that um, I'll tell you exactly who scared me away. And hey, I hate to say this, but it's feminists, it's some black women, and it's the really aggressive, very rabid wing of the LGBT wing of the LGBT aspect. And I don't want to be pick on people, but I'm not going to sit here and act like um I haven't noticed that they've really kind of, I don't want to say they've gone to the dark side, but it's like they're, I don't know, I just feel like their dark side is really showing its true colors. Or maybe they feel like they have to get more aggressive now. And I'm noticing that right wingers are starting to look more, I don't know if it's the regular Christian right, which I kind of, I think they're a bit of a problem. But
Mhm.
they're dying off. But the alt right, I think they're actually pretty cool. Like I just looked at the Republican convention, Trump's inauguration. I'm like, dang, all the hot girls are on the right, and all these mean, type of females on the left. So that's also telling. When it wasn't, it when 10 years ago, it was the complete reverse. But
Let
um,
me tell you why. Hold on, real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but let me
no, it's
explain to
okay.
you why the women on the right more times than not tend to be better looking than the women on the left. I'm gonna just keep it all the way 1,000. The right doesn't do the whole. And here's the thing: it's some beautiful big women out there. Lizzo didn't just get fine because she like Lizzo had been had a pretty face, right? But
Well,
we're
big girls
talking
have
about in
definitely.
terms of health and taking care of yourself. And not just that, let's keep it real. The more in shape you are, the more options that you have to date. When you
That's
out of
true.
shape, you only can date men that date women that like women that are overweight. But even a man that likes that are overweight, a lot of them still like women that are in shape too. Men that like women that are in shape tend to not like women that are overweight. So you reduce your dating options when you are overweight. It's just facts. The difference between the women on the left and the women on the right is that the women on the right accept that and they do something about it. The women on the left have the mentality of accept me as I am. So a lot of times they go outside the house looking any kind of way. A lot of the times they eat and eat and eat and don't go work out. And then they say a man is supposed to accept them like that. And a lot of times they do stuff like do all this weird color hair and piercings and tattoos in random places. And conservative women don't do that. So I've had heard a lot of men say that they prefer to look at the women on the right because it is a bit more, it's not even about modesty. I'm not gonna lie, some of these women on the left, I look at them and be like, you don't even look like you bathe. And I'm not trying to say that's all. I've seen some very beautiful left leaning women, but I'm saying you're more likely to find women who don't take care of themselves in the right way on the left, and they think that people should just accept the way they show up, and that's not reality. Go ahead.
Okay, so I take that into consideration too, and not to mention the women on the left tend to be are just getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and I'm like, bro, y'all have it, y'all, like, what more do y'all want? And I get it, that's
Mhm.
kind of crazy to say, because I mean, I don't like it if somebody asks that to black people, but at the same time, they so angry, and then on top of the fact now, when I see left politicians, you know, they're like because I'm in Canada, so Canada is like it's in Toronto at that. That's like New World Order Central. And so these guys, like Mark Carney and Justin Trudeau, are right in line with the guys. I feel like they take their orders from Brussels and George Soros. So as a result, you have these robotic guys on the left. They're always offended because it seems to be almost programmed. The women are so angry. The good-looking women on the left are so angry and hostile, and they don't seem to really even try to understand anybody. Because in other words, they feel like you're supposed to get down with our program, and then when you try to get down with their program, then they want to try to punk you as much as they can. So by the time you get
Facts.
some money, you say, "Man, screw these chicks. I mean, I'm going over to the right because now I pay less taxes and I deal with women who will respect me." So, and then, but I don't want to get into the gender issues. I'm not trying to do that because I don't believe in no gender wars. But
Well,
the
it's not even a gender issue thing because I told you this yesterday. Even me just being a woman, having friends on the left, female friends who are on the left, they try to, like you said, it's like if you make one concession or if you agree with them, like you have to agree with every little thing. So they'll even try to like punk a woman or make you feel like you're morally inept or you're just the scum of the earth if you don't agree with every little thing they say. So even me as a woman got tired of it. I don't even. I'm to the point now that if I'm around a woman who is a liberal and she just starts speaking nonsense or stuff that doesn't make sense, as before I would just let them talk when they start saying race, because a lot of them are very, very racist too. And I'm not saying making jokes. I said this before. Like if you be like, oh, white people don't season their food, to me that's not racist. That might be
right.
like to me, it's a reason for stereotypes. They don't season their food as well as black people. Now, have I met white people that can cook and throw down? Yes. That's not the same as having a visceral hate and dislike for another race. And I used to just let them sit up and say all kind of hateful stuff. And now I be checking that. I be like, I don't want to hear that.
But they ain't been through
No,
nothing.
yeah.
But like I don't say they've been through nothing in life, but they, like a lot of times you see some 21-year-old girls come who's rapidly angry at men, angry at white. It's like, bro, you ain't been through nothing. Ain't nobody did nothing to you. You just got indoctrinated that way. And then now that leads to the next group of people that really push me over the edge. And that's that so-called Black excellence HBCU crowd. Once I get to get them, those goofy dudes like Tabitha, not Tabitha Smiley. Tabitha Smiley's a real one. It's Ricky Smiley. Those that crowd of people. When I heard the way they talk and they, oh my goodness, and then imagine if Ketanji Brown, you swear in Kamala Harris, she'll have another one from the Divine Nine. Oh my goodness. If this was years ago, I would be like, yeah, we need to take that. Now I'm like, please make sure that don't happen because they starting to really hate men. They're still voting for wars. They're still doing a lot of the same governmental stuff. It's just a lot of token, putting on kente cloths and all this goofy shit. And it's just like, bro, having a hip hop day. It's like hip hop day, bro. What about doing something for black people? So that's starting to make me mad. And I'm really, they look disingenuous. And they're not fighting for progressive policies like Medicare for all and that. And so
Oh,
these
facts.
guys want to
Facts.
fight wars. They want to get into it with Russia so bad. These European liberal countries who can't fight, because the only countries in NATO that can fight are the U.S., Canada, Britain, and Turkey. Everybody else, nobody else can fight. World War I and World War II proved that. So these guys want to
Facts.
get into war with Russia so bad. Republicans are the
Mhm.
ones that are like, what? Use some common sense. You're not going to beat them. We're not going to keep spending money. And you Europeans try to woof at these guys just so you can come and call us. When you put all of that together, it's very difficult. That's why in Canada I'm NDP, New Democrat, not the Liberal. So,
Mhm.
um, so I just want to close off by saying that, like, um, I appreciate reasonable thinking women like yourself, and I'm noticing that um, the women who are reasonable minded are tending to like. Sometimes people push you into certain positions, right? So you might start saying stuff that might be more pro Trump because you're like, wait a minute now. We've been indoctrinated with this all this time. And you know what? Maybe we can come out and say maybe all these abortions is not all the way healthy, right? Like I said, I know chicks that did sex work that got 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 abortions, whatever. And I told them, like, yeah, man,
Mhm.
y'all might as well be King Von or Melly or something and just catch a whole bunch of bodies. Like that's not funny, but I mean they might as well be doing that.
I mean,
So
it's serious. I mean, they don't give it the gravity that it deserves. It's serious. At some point, you had to. It needs to affect you enough to where you change what you're doing.
yes, and that's true. And but so I guess the thing I wanted to say is that like I'm still pro black, but I'm damn near almost 2 feet out of what we've known as black culture. Because number one, black culture has shifted to something that I don't know what the hell it is. I've never watched the BET Awards ever again. I don't even want. I feel wrong supporting that, and I just feel like I have to just get off this train before I get into a train wreck. Because I just feel like the whole sort of neoliberal order is just rotten. The gentrification that Jay Z helped do in Brooklyn, where he fake owns the Nets or whatever, all of that stuff put together has made me really upset. And I don't know a lot of black people who are on the left, unless they're progressive, that understand what I'm saying because they're just really playing sides and doing talking points. And it's like, I can't do this no more. I might as well join a gang for real if I'm going to be part down with this. So that's what I wanted to say about that. But I mean, I understand why that lady, did what she did to her because she was being provocative. But at the same time, more of that's going to happen because these
Yeah.
women are getting really angry and they're bullying these men to stand on business. I'm willing to bet you more black men wouldn't have voted for Kamala Harris if they weren't in a somewhat way like, yo, I don't want to make black women mad. I'll take black women's side even if I don't agree with this just because. So, and I feel like that, but now it's gotten to a point where I mean, black girls don't like me no way, but I need to make some money. But um, but yeah,
Yeah, and I want to be able to like y'all know I love my again. My best friends are black women. It's like I want to be able to ride out for them, and I want to be able to disagree with you, but I can't because the fact of the matter is, yeah, they did a lot of bullying during the election. They did a lot of bullying. Again, I gotta preface this with the majority. I can't even say some, not all. The majority, not all. The majority did a
yeah,
lot of bullying during the election. They even bullied other black women. Anybody that was black that that wasn't going for Kamala Harris. They did a lot of bullying and they were really upset when it was like how many wasn't even like 20% of black men that voted for Donald Trump, right? It was just more than what had ever gone for the Republican Party in recent history, and they dogged the entirety of black men for it. So yeah, people are definitely tired of it,
and they
So
need to get rid of the Kerry Champions and Jamel Hills. Them two chicks need to go because they're costing the Democrats more than they're helping. And if you want somebody to get siphon off black votes, keep sending those type of women up there, and I guarantee you'll lose more and more black votes. And I don't want to do that. So
Well, I think what they're failing to see is that the energy has shifted. I think 10 or 15 years ago, when this all kind of first started, you white people act like the white guilt thing was real. A lot of the times, white people, a lot of them wanted to be allies. A lot of them wanted to speak up. Like a lot, there were a lot, but then it was kind of like then when the white people took your side, now when they're in black spaces trying to be an ally, then you're bullying them. And then when you see that they feel guilty and they make concessions to you about stuff, you try to bully them even more. So now I think it's gotten to the point where white people in general are like, F it. Just kind of like the lady Voodoo Doll when I pulled up her video yesterday. And she was upset that Austin Metcalf's parents had the audacity to be sad that their son
yeah,
was, and it's like, okay, now and she got upset that he said it's not about race and that they want people to leave race out of it, even though their son was the one that got murdered. So
exactly.
it's like white people are saying, damn, even when I try to take the high road, there is a problem. You always gonna find a problem. There's no pleasing y'all at this point. So we're getting to the point where any empathy or sympathy or opportunity that we had to make some headway, it is now gone. And in terms of being a part of Black culture, before all this started, it was way more fun to be Black. When I think
Yeah,
about the early 2000s, Even though we were struggling, it was a good time. Going out, we used to have a good time. The BET Awards used to be a good, like, to me, that was the time before we started making everything about race and focusing on white people and turning all of our attention on blaming white people for all of our problems. That was the time of like the real Black excellence and
Yeah,
glamour, and you was just and fun, and the music was good, and you was just proud. And now it's like, bruh, this ain't even fun no more. It's whack.
yeah.
It's
And they when
whack.
all these rappers are zesty and all that, and they keep wanting to go overboard and
Yeah.
pushing LGBT agenda too. So that's my issue. Is this like you on top of all of this? Now you can, and Obama's guilty too. So is Joe Biden. Where they care way more about pushing an LGBT agenda than a black agenda, and I'm wondering if it's because the LGBT numbers are so small, it's easier to accommodate them than black. That's the only thing I can think of. So that's what I wanted to say about that. But I love black people. I love that. But I don't know. I think we should recreate black culture. Until then, I gotta withdraw.
Well, it's got to start with people who are reasonable, not being scared to walk away from the community and forming our own coalitions, working with other people. It's got to start with people like you, people like me, um, people like Aquarius Waves, Officer Tatum, even the people like AP and Sheba, like people who are willing to call out just even if it's not every inconsistency, some inconsistency. And that's what I
Mhm.
really love. But me and AP think very similar. He's not afraid to just say the things that need to be said. Even, I like how, GMS, he gonna come more softer. Like he gonna come with a more like, he gonna kind of like sugarcoat the way he say. I don't want to say sugarcoated, but he's gonna try to be the more diplomatic one, right? But it just starts with black people saying, no, this is not cool anymore. I don't care if you don't want to be my friend. I don't care if I'm not invited to the proverbial cookout. The cookout isn't even fun anymore. It's some bullshit.
No,
I don't want
no,
to go.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's arguments and it might be a shootout instead of a cookout. So that's
Yeah,
how it goes now.
please don't
But
invite me.
but anyway, I'll let D Molly and these other ones talk. So thanks for having me on.
No, you're welcome. Anybody else want to come up? I got about 9 minutes left. Now, if nobody comes up within the next minute, I'm gonna hop off. But this was a really good conversation and discussion, and like, I don't want to try to make it seem like, because people be like, somebody said something to me like, you never had anything positive to say about black people, and it's like, bro, I have plenty positive things to say about the black people that I hang out with. Again, I don't, I have a couple of like, now that I'm here in Medellin, like I'm exposing myself to different type of people. So I'm making friends with white people and things like that. But in terms of like who are my ride or die people, they're all black people, but my circle is small because it's hard to find disciplined people. The black people that I hang around with ain't going for this kind of stuff, ain't going with the foolishness. It's calling out stuff when it's wrong. Black culture is no more. It's American culture now. I'm on the road. Okay. It's so y'all trying to invite. Is Sultry even still in the building? Again, guys, I'm gonna give somebody. I still got a little time left. You got like a minute here. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat again. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, and then I will give you a minute to come up here. Hold on. If anybody wants to come, you don't have to get on camera. You can just talk on your phone if that's what you want to do. Yeah, I'm so mad. My hair got like wet when I was walking outside just now. Well, before the live, I was like out at the market with my daughter. That's one thing I love about Colombia. I go to the market, it's always fresh. You want to say hey? Y'all, my daughter wants to say hi. Thank you. This is actually a rain hat. Girl, you better throw that away. This is a rain hat. So I wore it because I knew it was going to rain. So this was supposed to protect your hair against the rain, but it penetrated. Y'all, this is my daughter, Tatiana. Say hi. You gotta look at the camera.
Hello, I want more mango.
You want another mango? Okay.
Minecraft.
Okay, go get it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait, I forgot to say something.
Okay.
Like and subscribe if you
Hold on,
like
you gotta come over
Mariah's
here and
show.
say it.
Like and subscribe if you like Mariah's show.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. Okay, go.
Wait, can you see me do the gritty?
No, now you're doing too much. Go get it. Thank you, Jamal. Yeah, that's my little baby. Okay, nobody's coming up, which is fine. I will see y'all back on Monday. Now, if I hit my super chat goal throughout the week, next week I'll come on and do a Saturday night show. Again, you're not obligated. I don't want y'all to feel like, it's not none of that. It's extra incentive for me to come on next Saturday if that's what y'all want to do. Tati, my friend D. Malley says hi.
Hello.
Okay. With that said, I will see y'all on Monday. Y'all have a good weekend. Again, hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you need to do any one-on-one coaching with me, hit me up at thepassportsis@gmail.com. I got you. See you next time. Thank you, Jamal.